Hello Virgo, welcome to your weekly reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If you're watching this reading was meant to find you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Virgo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. 8 of Swords, or overthinker, aren't we? I think that this card is, it's kind of talking about this, the way that we tend to ruminate on things. I think sometimes it's hard for you to let things go, you know. And I think Spirit right now really wants you to let things go. I think you've been trying to let things go. I think that a lot of your energy is tied up in sort of thinking and rethinking about things that have already happened or problems that we have that need solutions. But we're fretting over the problem. It's not the same as coming up with a solution, right? Sometimes this card is somebody that may say, hey, I've got all of these issues. I've got all of these things I have to do, all of these problems, all of these things that are challenging to me. But I don't really know how to solve them. I don't know how to approach the problem. It's a figure 8, right? We're looping back in on the problem. And we just keep diving at it and swooping around and dive bombing the problem. But we're not actually coming up with any solutions. This isn't a very proactive card, right? Sometimes we get locked in. This is a tangle of wires. And eventually it becomes despair. Because right now it may just feel like helplessness, like I don't know what to do. And I keep looking at the problem, and all it's doing is making me feel worse about the problem. I'm not getting any ideas, not getting any help, right? Let's put this card into a little bit of context, okay? Sometimes this is a card that says we're very good at sort of seeing the details of things. We can see all the individual wires. We're having a hard time seeing the bigger picture, okay? Let's see what's going on here. Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, that's a little bit more of a bigger picture card, I think. There we go. The Eon, Judgment, Rebirth, Reawakening. This is a big change coming. This is a new birth. A 10 of Wands. The 3, yeah. The 3 of Swords. 5 of Pentacles. In this case, the 5 of Pentacles is a very good card. It's saying that what we're worried about, we are going to change. That we are taking actual steps and getting something fixed, getting something solved, getting out of the problem. Okay. And I think that the 3 of Swords is sort of and that's the black cloud hanging over everything. I think that whatever the situation is, whatever you feel sort of tangled up in right now, maybe it's just life in general. Maybe it's a particular thing, an issue at work, an issue at home, a relationship issue, a spiritual issue. Whatever you feel tangled up in, it's sort of casting a shadow, it's casting a pall over everything. Now that's my name. It's creating a sort of black cloud that hangs over everything else. So if it's a trouble at work, it's affecting your relationships. If it's something that has to do with your entire life, it's just life feels overwhelming. I feel like I've got too much to do, too many problems to solve, and not enough time to solve them. Then that's affecting everything else. It's affecting your work performance, your love relationships, your family, your friends. It's affecting everything, right? And that's the 3 of Swords as a sort of black cloud. But we do see a way out. I think you're making some definite decisions about the past. And that's going to really change your future. Of course, Virgo, if there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Okay. Now we'll do the rest of our cards on the table. Got a 9 of Wands. Look at that, 6 of Swords. A Knight of Wands and a 6 of Pentacles. This is a reading that makes me want to say, hell yes. Right? Because we've got all these problems over here, the difficulty, and it's kind of like, man, I'm never going to get out of this. But then look at over here. We got our strength, power back. We've got a plan. We got organization. There's order in the chaos. There's excitement. There's enthusiasm. We're getting it going. This is the difficult thing. It's just getting started. And look at that. Beautiful 6. That's a jackpot. From a 5 to a 6, that's a jackpot. From a 3 and an 8 of Swords to a 6 of Swords, that's success. We're pulling order out of the chaos here. You're taking a problem and you're making it a jackpot. You're taking a worry and you're making it a beautiful, successful outcome. This is the light at the end of the tunnel, and this is where you're going. This is a major jackpot for you, okay? And it really is the River card here, the obstacle, is, of course, our Knight of Wands. That's going to be the challenge. And it really is just a matter of getting up and doing it. Getting up and getting started. Once we get out of this 8, see the 8 of Swords, we can't move. We're tangled up in all these wires. We're wrapped up in a cocoon of our own thoughts, right? We got to get out of this because we're not able to move. Can't even move a pinky finger when we're wrapped up in this. So I think we're making a very big decision. It could be that we're literally taking a pair of scissors and cutting the wires. Maybe we are breaking this life up into smaller, more manageable chunks. Instead of big, long-term goals, my life is just chaotic. There's so many things to do. We got birthdays, holidays, work stuff, family stuff, friend things, kids, parents, grandparents. We've got all these activities, all these events, everything. So many things to do. Maybe looking at it in that big picture is sort of overwhelming. And so it's maybe the 8 of Swords really is onto something here, saying that maybe we do need to break this up into smaller chunks and just pay it. What do you have to do right now? What's important for you to do today? What's the first thing coming up on your calendar that we've got to figure out? Okay, let's work on that. That's what the 6 of Cups, 6 of Pentacles is. Which reminds me that there's no water cards here, right? But that's what the 6 of Pentacles is. The individual victories. It's a jackpot. And another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. And then, over time we realize that we've accumulated a lot of wins. It's a big win going from a 5 to a 6. It's something really to be proud of. I feel like you've been sort of feeling trapped here. Okay. Now let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We'll set it right here with our little sea turtle friend right on top. And now we're not going to look at that card until the end, right? But it will tie everything together and give us our confirmation. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments down below, okay? I think we need to work on our sort of, our divine energy. We need to work on the intuition. As we look around the room here, this is the only major arcana card. And we're really looking for, I think, in a way, this card means a lot. We could spend the whole reading talking just about this card. It means a lot. This could be us looking for an escape. This could be like you're looking for like a secret passageway in your life where you could just run right? Where you could just escape all of it. You need it's like a parachute. We're looking for a way out. But there's also a card that says we can make decisions in our lives, and we can sort of, it's kind of like on a submarine or something, right? If there's a fire, what do? You close the compartments. Or if there's a flood, right, a leak or something, you compartmentalize it. You seal off certain sections so that it doesn't just flood the whole thing, sink the boat, right? So this is a card of closing doors. I know it's a doorway card. We should be going through the doorway, shutting the door behind us, yes, but sometimes we've got to be in the room and we've got to close the door and just say, I'm here. Nothing's getting in. So we can make these decisions and we can, in a way, compartmentalize our life and just say, okay, dealing with the work stuff at work, that's when I chunk a bit of time and I focus on that work stuff. I figure out what I'm going to do. I get a plan, get a 6 of Swords, right? The plan. And it really so happens that these two positions in the Dove and Serpent spread are intimately connected. Intimately connected. Okay. The Dove and Serpent spread really has grown. It's become a very complex tarot spread. These positions are connected. These, 1, 2, 3, these positions are very connected. This is our river card, our obstacle that we have to cross. Okay. So between these two, yeah, sometimes we have to shut ourselves in a room and just say, for the next hour, I'm focused on this. And that's it. And in a way, it's, maybe it's not quite practical for us to do that, but we have to at least internally make these decisions that say, okay, I could be overwhelmed by this big picture. Just looking at this big pile of stuff I got to do. It's like, oh gosh. And that's overwhelming. And then I feel paralyzed because I'm looking at everything and I'm thinking, I can't even, I'm paralyzed. I can't even move a pinky finger. I don't even know where to start. I feel helpless. So what we do then is we just we ignore 99% of it. And we say, okay, let's prioritize. What's the most urgent thing that needs to get done? Let's make that list. Let's make that checklist. What's the first thing that's coming up? What's the most urgent thing? Okay, well, we'll work on that first. We'll make a little progress there. It's very important as we make our checklist and we start to sort of compartmentalize our lives and split this big picture stuff into little chunks, that we don't end up in a very unproductive state of affairs by doing too much planning, because then that 6, we're right back in the 8. Because we say, okay, I'm going to make a checklist. I'm going to get everything organized. I'm going to prioritize. And then 3 weeks go by and we haven't done anything because I've been planning. I've been writing checklists and things, So it really is important that we sort of chunk our lives up and we prioritize. And then we work on this problem, but we take definite actions. We make decisions. This is the card of decisions being made. Doors being opened and closed in whatever way you need to get things done, to channel the energy in the right way. Close the doors over here, open them up over here. You create a nice little track for the energy to flow. And I think this is how you prepare yourself for that jackpot, for those wins, for those 6 of Pentacles, those individual. It's a good feeling. It's just like, I accomplished something today. I got something done. It's a little bit of this big mountain of paperwork or this big mountain of laundry that we have to do. How we do, how do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. How do you do this big mountain of laundry? Well, 1 load at a time, right? And that's what we need to do, but we need to prioritize what clothes do you need today, you know, and what clothes are you going to need, let's say tomorrow, we'll get those done first. Yeah. And we got to start making decisions, because I really feel like this is getting all of this stuff done. Getting your life organized in this way is really going to help you level up, you know. I think that this Six of Pentacles, this big jackpot, is it's going to be a repeatable thing. It's not a one-shot deal. You're figuring out a way now to really go from a 5 to a 6 pretty much any time you want. Every day can be a day of just intense accomplishments. Now, Spirit's telling me you have a connection with the Pacific Northwest. I don't know what's up in that area for you. Knight of Pentacles, let's talk about that card, because this is the card that's looking at the future. And I think that, obviously, tied up inside of this Eight of Swords, right? We're looking at the future. And maybe you're not seeing a future that you like. Maybe you're looking at a future and you're seeing just the big mountain of laundry. And you're thinking, oh, I gotta climb that thing? I mean, thinking the Knight of Pentacles is looking out. We look at this card, we don't know if they really like what they see, right? We know they're looking at something, and they are kind of terrified of tackling this big thing. And so they're locked up in this tangle of wires, this tangle of thoughts. Keep looping back in on itself until we're just in a cocoon, staring at this big mountain. Because the Knight, any of the Knights, are looking at the future. Not moving, this one. Standing here, looking at what's in the distance. Seeing this big mountain. And the Knight of Pentacles can see the future. Can see what's ahead. Does not know the path to get there. In this case, I think you know that what the mountain is. You don't know how to climb it, or you don't know how to tackle it. And I think certainly at this point you can't really see what's beyond the mountain. You can't see a time where this mountain of laundry isn't there. Or this mountain of paperwork, or this mountain of debt, or whatever it is. Okay? But what the Knight of Pentacles does need is the plan. We need to be able to see a way to do it. Okay? Right now, just staring at this Five of Pentacles and seeing just a whole mountain of worry. Not able to gaze past that and see, okay, well, I can do it. Part of the Knight of Wands, this river card, part of this big river, this great river we have to cross, is the river of self-confidence. A river of not lamenting the situation, but let's just be efficient and let's get it done. Going through this doorway is going to change your life. Getting these things done is going to be progress for you. It's going to be an accomplishment, and then an accomplishment, and then an accomplishment. It's going to feel good every day to say, hey, I got a little bit of that laundry done. Or, hey, I got a little bit of that paperwork done. It may still be a mountain. It may always be a mountain. But understanding that you're capable of solving the problem, 5 to 6, right? And first we go 5 to 6, we get the plan, right? And then we're able to go 5 to 6, and we get the accomplishment. Now the 10 in the background here is very interesting, because this card is usually about feeling as if all the responsibility is on our shoulders. So this card, I could talk all day about this card. There's a lot of things, right? It feels like you're the one responsible for everything. You have to do it all, okay? It's a lot of weight on your shoulders. I think there needs to be a recognition that you don't have to do everything. It's not all on your shoulders, okay? that you're part of a network, you're part of a team, you got coworkers, you got family or friends or whoever else is sort of here. It may be that it is your life, right? And so in that way, we are all carrying our own burdens, our own crosses. We are all carrying the weight of the world on our own individual shoulders, and there's nobody there to lighten the load. Okay? We have to recognize that, but we also have to accept the fact that, yeah, I can ask for help, that there are other people that are carrying their weight as well, and that helps me out in some way. So we have to understand the sort of the interdependent nature of life. This card's also about the amount of force that we use. Because this seems almost that we're using too much force. I feel that this is an energy where we're very like violently washing the dishes, you know? And I think that it's exhausting you. I think it's also revealing a kind of a pent-up anger or rage. Okay? Because I feel that sometimes we apply too much pressure to things that don't really need that much pressure. And that's my sort of metaphor. We're very violently washing the dishes. We're very aggressively vacuuming the floor. It's not getting the dishes any cleaner. In fact, we may end up breaking something. It's not helping the vacuum do a better job vacuuming the floor. In fact, we may even, I don't know, wear a little hole in the carpet or something, right? So there's a need for us to pay attention to what we're doing as we're doing it, to see if we're wasting energy. If we're applying too much force to something that doesn't need that much force, we're wasting the energy, right? Very different from intentionally pushing yourself to the very limits. And let's say we're at the gym. Well, you're going to push yourself, right? You're going to use as much force as you can to lift the weight. Yeah, but you're not going to use all of your energy to lift like a little feather. You know what I mean? You ever have that experience where you're looking at like a cup or a glass or a big tumbler you think's full of water or something, and you go to reach for it, and your body's expecting a certain weight, and you're already preparing to use that weight to lift the big jug. But then you go and it's empty, and you lift it, and it's like, whoa. You ever have that happen? It's really a weird thing. Because it's an unconscious thing that suddenly gets brought to our consciousness. I was expecting that to be heavier, and my body was already using the force to lift it up before I even knew how much it weighed. Like it was just sort of an automatic thing. And it's really interesting to observe that in ourselves. Well, that's a very obvious example, right? What if that happens all day, every day, but we're not aware of it? That we're using so much force on something and we don't realize that, it didn't need that much. It's an inefficiency. It's a waste. Yeah. And so sometimes this could be maybe the way that we're doing things. If we're trying to vacuum let's say we're doing the dishes or something, right? Or anything. We're at work. We're trying to trying to get through our work day and try to get everything we have to do in a day. We're trying to get it done. But let's say we're doing it and the whole time we're stressed out. We're emotional. We're angry. We're using too much force. We're going over here and doing something, and then I got to go back over here and get something else, and I got to go back over here and back over here and back over here. And we're using all this energy walking around to different places because we're so frustrated and we're so wrapped up in how we feel, and we're wrapped up in our sense of self, right? We're paying too much attention to ourself, right? That we're forgetting things. I forgot all my tools. We got to go back, get the tools, come back. All that adds up to wasted energy and wasted time. And then at the end of the day, we're exhausted and we didn't really accomplish very much. There's an inefficiency that we need to work on. And thankfully, we see a 9 Wands in your general energy. I think that this is a little bit better than a 10, right? I think maybe if we had a 6 of Wands, it would be real nice. But a 9 is good too, because it's kind of like we've learned to let off the gas a little bit. We may still be driving pretty supercharged, but we've let off the gas a little bit. Yeah. And now the 3 of Swords is the function of the mind. It's usually a function of memory, but I'm sort of thinking it's more like a function of imagination, than memory. Because I think when I talk about memory, I think it could be a future memory, right? It's then a kind of oxymoron, right? I feel like more it's the imagination. It's understanding the function, understanding the process of creation on the mental plane. How we use our mind to create reality. And usually we talk about this as being, well, if we're just locked up in the negative aspects of something, if we're just considering all the everything that we have to do, it's like we're just imagining this laundry and I got baskets of laundry and all the soap and all these dishes that are piling, all this paperwork at work, and it's just like, oh gosh, I don't want to go in, I don't want to do it. That is bringing us the pain beforehand. Right? Or even after the fact, because this is that card that relives a past trauma. Right? And so we've been hurt in the past, and then we keep thinking about it and reliving it and lamenting it and feeling the way we feel about it, and then we keep getting hit again. It keeps hurting us again, over and over and over again. Okay? And that's just in that kind of psychoanalytic way, right? This also can take place when we are anticipating the future. All this work I got to do tomorrow. I think all this paperwork at work, all these tasks. Oh gosh, I got a meeting to go to. I got to talk to the boss. I got a performance review. I got a stack of projects. I was short last week. I got to make up for it this week. And oh God. But I'm supposed to be at home in bed, relaxing, watching TV with my family, or sleeping, or eating, or It's not the time nor the place, right? Because now I'm suffering through all of those things at the moment, lamenting them, feeling injured by those things, and then I got to go tomorrow and I got to do it for real. Well, as far as our unconscious goes, it's real right now, even though it hasn't happened yet, or even though it happened years ago, whatever the case may be. So we have to be aware of that function of our mind. And if we are too concerned with ourselves, if we have too much self-consciousness, too much wrapped up, too wrapped up in our concern for ourselves, then we're out of the present moment, and we're either in the past or the future. We're in our imagination, but not in a good way. It's in a way that's casting a fog, or a heavy, dark cloud over our lives. So this is even in the moment we're doing this work and we're just thinking, I hate this, and I guess, gosh, it's going to be all day, and this isn't even the end of it. I got 1,000 more loads of laundry to do, 1,000 more dishes or more paperwork or whatever. It's never going to stop, right? And then that, of course, contributes to our inefficiency of doing what we're doing right now in the moment. Because again, we're worried about either yesterday or tomorrow. And that's part of our Knight of Pentacles. We still see that mountain in front of us. And then in our imagination, that's what we're considering ourselves and how that's going to make us feel. Well, that's making us feel that right now. So we got to get out of there. Now, sometimes there's a benefit to this. Because sometimes we can, as part of our planning strategy or our training or preparation, we can close our eyes and intentionally imagine going through the process of working out that issue. Okay, close your eyes, imagine this big, huge pile of laundry. Okay, how am I going to do it? What does it feel like to have that huge pile of laundry? It feels terrible. Okay, well, I could take some of it, put it in a basket, I'll go start a load of laundry. And then the laundry's going, and then I can't do anything for 20 minutes, so I might as well go and do the next thing on my checklist. But I got to make sure I listen for the little buzzer. And so we sort of play it through. We play through the scenario in our imagination, and we do that in the right way. Then tomorrow, when we're actually waking up and we say, okay, I got to do it now, I've already gone through this scenario and I kind of know how it's going to go. It makes it a little bit easier, right? And then that'll help us get out of our head tomorrow. We've got to be careful with that, because sometimes this rumination or this imagination can backfire on us, because we'll just start feeling worse and worse and worse and worse and worse about our responsibilities and about our lives and about the problems we have, the things we have to solve. Tomorrow we're going to get up and we don't even want to do it, and we just continue with this black cloud. And I think that is really affecting your entire mood in life. The awareness of some of these energies is going to allow you to eat the elephant. It's going to allow you to tackle this great big mountain of laundry. All right? Because I think there is a reason why you've got so much on your plate right now. And there's a purpose to it all. Now, of course, we've got just this major arcana. We've got our fire. We don't have any water. We've got a lot of swords and a lot of earth energy. It's very interesting here. 1, 2, 3, fire. 1, 2, 3, air. 1, 2, 3, earth. All being supported by your ability to compartmentalize and chunk data and sort of, make decisions, open and shut doors in the right configuration to get things done, to be efficient. Yeah. And even this fiery doorway, you go through this doorway, it requires you to burn off any excess, So this is a streamline. This is real economy and efficiency. Every movement purposeful, right? Every decision is geared toward the same end. Okay? And then so I like that we have the 3, 3, and 3. If we apply our energy in the right way, we think about things in the right way, things get done in the right way. Boom, boom, boom. This is how you prepare for that jackpot. Okay? That's going to feel good. I bet the mystery card's going to be water energy. I can't wait. The 5 of Pentacles, of course, is change in the physical environment. You are now doing something, and the world around you is changing. That mountain of laundry, it's getting smaller. Maybe not by much, but you're involved in the activity and you're doing it in such an efficient way that you're changing the world around you. You're changing your environment, changing your reality. Okay? There is a measurable difference in the world. Okay? You can see the paperwork the stack of paperwork's getting smaller. The laundry is getting less and less and less. It's something that's quantifiable. Yeah. And that itself is reinforcement. That right there feels so much better than this dang old 8 of Swords. Because now, it's getting done. We have to be careful, because even when we're violently scrubbing the dishes, yeah, that dish got clean. But think of the cost. It was a 10 of wands for a 5 of pentacles outcome. This is 2 to 1. I think, if my math is right. This is a 2 to 1 ratio. That's not very efficient. We want 1 to 1, right? Ideally, we want just the right amount of effort to get the results that we need. And this is, now we could say, well, what about all these people that tell you that when you're at work you should go above and beyond, You should always be trying to do more than just a 1-to-1, right? Yes, but that's kind of, that's a different subject, right? Because the 10s, as you know, are not just a 10. It's not a finite amount of energy. It's not saying like, I'm only going to put in 100% of effort and then I'll have 100% results and that's it. Don't ask me to put in 110%, because we know that the 10s are infinite. It's just the way we count. We say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, and then an infinite number. Some cultures count with base 2. They say there's 1, there's 2, and then there's a whole bunch. Or base 12, or base 5, or base 7, right? We just happen to be base 10. So all of the 10s are infinite. This could be an 11 of wands. It could be a 22,000 of wands. And it's basically saying that however much effort you put in, it's going to be efficient effort. It's going to be streamlined and economical to get the results that you intend. So you could be at work, you could be someone that puts in 200% at work. Yeah, go above and beyond. Would your boss be happy if you went above and beyond, but it didn't produce anything more? It's kind of like, you have a certain amount of tasks to be done, and you do them all. You're supposed to do them all in 8 hours. Well, I'm going to go above and beyond. I'm going to put in some overtime today. Yeah, look at me. I'm putting in overtime. Still only got those few tasks done. The boss would be like, why did you stay for overtime if you just did the same amount of work you always do? You see? And that's what the one-to-one is. That's the efficiency that we need. Okay? And maybe this is a business thing for you. Maybe this is just life altogether. Let's talk about this 9 of Wands. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. All right? Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Really helps me out. And I really appreciate that. Your 10 of Wands gives way to this 9 of Wands. And this is now, it feels to me like this is more connection. This is more of a variable, right? See, the 10 to me feels extreme. This is kind of like we know how to use the gas a little bit. This is a card of strength. And I think that you're someone who knows that strength is not in how hard you can push against something. Strength is not really like how much weight you can lift. Deadlift one rep, maximum weight, But I think it's really more of a functional strength of how this actually plays out in life. Yeah, you can lift 1,000 pounds one time over your head, but, can you walk around the block? Can you climb stairs? Can you cook food? Can you play with your kids? Can it's functional. Can you do laundry? Do you have that sort of strength? It's different. It's different than just that extreme. It's more of a functional strength. Okay. And I think that this, in your case, is more efficient. I think you're somebody that is very deeply connected with your sense of purpose, even though sometimes it gets a little clouded by this black cloud. But there is a reason why you're here doing all of. There's a reason why you have so much on your plate. There is an elephant in the room and you're trying to eat it, bite by bite. Why is it there? Okay. Because this card is asking you to summon your strength to do this in a very efficient way, to overcome this sense of self, the self-importance, by remembering why this elephant is in the room to begin with. And that we want to get all of this stuff done. We've got to tackle it chunk by chunk. Poor elephant. And that is allowing you to summon the strength of character, the strength of will to say, okay, I'm going to do this in the right way. I'm going to get this jackpot. So then we get into our 6 of Swords. 6 of Swords, I could talk about that all day too. The 6 of Swords is the plan. Plain and simple. It's having a structure and an order. There's some sort of rhyme or reason to the chaos here. We've made a plan. We've realized we're going to eat the elephant. We're going to do it bite by bite. We're going to start in the front, work our way back, or whatever. Poor elephant. I said that's a real morbid metaphor, isn't it? But this is finding a little bit of order in the chaos. Yeah. And we don't want to overdo it and get back to our 8 of Swords. So we sort of have a plan of how we're going to approach things. And then the important thing is to start doing it. And that's the crucial thing. It's the River card. Okay. This card is also talking about how your relationships might improve. right? We're preparing for this jackpot. We've got to focus on our relationships, our partnerships, friends, family, coworkers, loved ones, business people, whatever. We've got to have a harmonious relationship with other people so that everybody can be efficient. That's what we're really going for here. We want the maximum results with just the right amount of effort, preferably the minimum effort necessary to get the thing done. To get everything done. And when we say minimum effort, it doesn't mean that you're half-assing things, okay? You have a standard of what your jackpot, what your perfection, what your happy day looks like. Let's say it's a birthday party. We're trying to figure this thing out. Well, we want it to be the best birthday party the world has ever seen. And that's the amount of effort we need, no more, no less. Okay. But we have to also remember our relationships, so that there is efficiency in those relationships, that everybody sort of knows what their job is, and so that everybody kind of has their own to-do list, and there's no redundancy. If you're doing the laundry load by load, you don't want someone else to come in and start washing those same clothes again, do you? That's a waste of time as well. So we have to be careful with our relationships in that way, but also in terms of our black cloud. Also in terms of our black cloud, I think that going through some of this energy in your own life is going to help you improve the relationships. There's going to be just more harmony with the people in your life. And that reinforces what we're doing, makes us feel better. It makes us feel a little bit more capable and feel like, okay, at least I'm not fighting with my family or my friends or my spouse. Okay, well we're getting along. We're in harmony now. That takes a huge weight off your shoulders. It allows you to have a little more optimism, right? Especially knowing that that person's there to help you too. Now, the big obstacle is, of course, our Knight of Wands. Because the Knight of Wands is a card that is still looking at the future, but is rushing toward that future. Rushing toward it. Not sitting there paralyzed, in this case, like a Knight of Pentacles, thinking, look at the size of that mountain of laundry. Oh, my word. Knight of Wands just says, wow, look at that size of that mountain of laundry, and is rushing toward it, right? And you don't even have time to wave goodbye. They're just, zoom, right? Ready to get to it. This is the difficult thing, is to have this kind of energy and this kind of the ability to flip the switch to execute. We got the plan, we got all this stuff, we've sort of made decisions, and now the last stage is to just get up and do it with vitality, with this sort of courage and this, just with zest, right? With this fierceness, a ferocity, and an appetite that says, I can't wait to eat this elephant. You know, and this is kind of like, this isn't that part of the movie, you know, where someone's getting to work and they're starting to do whatever they've been sort of preparing to do. Now they're doing it. And it's just they got the happy music and you just see them doing things. There's a lot of fast cuts, different scenes. The time goes by and then pretty soon it's like 6 months later, you know, and then the sort of, the final act of the movie, you know, sort of winds down. But this is that really fast-paced, you know, a lot of transitions, a lot of cuts, the happy music, you know, and it's kind of like the days are going by. You see the calendar, and it's like, you know, it's December 1st, December 2nd, January 5th. It starts going faster, right? This is that part of the movie. And I think you're going to be so absolutely pleased with how much you accomplish. And I think this is a huge change. I think getting into this way of accomplishing these, it's going to make you feel as if you can accomplish anything. And indeed, you can. This is a really big win. This is, you know, it's kind of like at the end of the day, you say, wow, today was a good day. I got a lot of stuff done. I was efficient. I was in a good mood, and I feel good now. And I'm ready to just unwind, watch some tarot videos on YouTube, and fall asleep. Maybe a bedtime story over at Dove and Serpent Bedtime Stories. And this is that day-to-day satisfaction of feeling like today was a good day. Today, this week was a good week. This month was a good month. This life was a good life. So it's the jackpot that happens. I mean, it can happen every day. It can happen every hour. We can have this sense of accomplishment. And maybe that's what we do in our planning phase here, is we think of the long-term goals. Let's chunk it into monthly. Let's chunk that into weekly. Let's chunk that into daily. What are you going to accomplish today? This week, this month, this year? Yeah. Let's look at our mystery card. This is the jackpot that just keeps on jacking, you know. I like it. I think this is good energy. I think this is going to be water, obviously. Maybe an Empress, maybe a 9 or a 10 of Cups. A 6 of Cups would be real nice. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments down below. I'm a little nervous. A Queen of Wands. Well, the Queen of Wands is sort of a card that's looking at the past. We got these two that look at the future. This is a card that's looking at the past. So this is really about you at the end of the day, looking back over your day and thinking, damn, I did good today. This is water and fire. So there's water in here, so I was sort of right. Because this is an inner satisfaction. This is an inner kind of joy and happiness. While outside is all this effort, all this fire, all this work, all this intention, all this activity, you know. Inside is satisfying. Inside it feels good. Yeah. It feels good to get to the end of the day and say, I can finally relax and unwind, right? That feels good in a sort of, you know, a sensual way. But it feels good also in this kind of spiritual way. Because you did this. You, in cooperation with the universe around you, of course, you did this. You accomplished this day. And I think that brings a deep sense of satisfaction. Real, true satisfaction. And even in those moments where it doesn't really feel good, I'm freaking exhausted, I just want to go to sleep. But even in this sort of, it's, you know, unpleasant feelings, let's say doing all this laundry, there's still an inner sense of satisfaction here. It says, hey, yeah, I got it done. I did it. And you have to experience this phase of things. At the end of the day, you have to be able to look back at your day and sleep soundly, knowing that you did a good job. And you got stuff done, and you made progress, whatever that looks like for you. Otherwise, you know, at the end of the month or whatever, we're just kind of like, oh, God, I'm glad that's over. That was terrible. I feel like crap. And we're just back in that negative black cloud energy still. Yeah, you may feel like crap. Maybe you're glad it's over, but is there anything you feel good about? You know, doing that work and getting all that stuff and getting through this situation. We're going to do an extended reading as well. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top and there's a link down below. New readings for Virgo on Tuesdays and Saturdays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's free and it supports the channel and all that stuff. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.